So let's get into this Q&A. What's up, YouTube? If you're watching this at a later date, I am recording this live on Twitch, and this is my 10K subscribers Q&A. If you submitted a question over in my Discord 10K Q&A channel, there is a good chance that your question will be answered today, and chat is going to potentially ask some new ones over in the Discord while I am live doing this. So thank you all for being here live, and thank you for watching this on YouTube at a later time as well. This has been an incredible journey of 4 years, just about a little over 4 years on 10,000 subscribers that we hit back in what, a week ago. It's been a crazy ride ever since 10K the past week. And we hit Twitch partner all in the same month, so it's been amazing, and I really appreciate all the support. So let's go into the Discord for these questions, and we're starting out with a question from the package. The package asks, if you could have any card reprinted for the current standard format, what would it be and why? So the current standard format being Regulation D and on, or Sword and Shield through Evolving Skies. A card that I would reprint into the format would probably have to be either Reset Stamp or N, I think. Just because there are a lot of decks that would feel better playing from behind if you had more of a late game disruption choice like that, like Reset Stamp or N. And also maybe going second wouldn't feel as bad, because if you're playing from the back foot, you would have more cards to circumvent the unbalance there is between going first and second. So yeah, I would probably go with Reset Stamp, since we already have Marnie in the format, and obviously that's no N, but I feel like N and Marnie in the same format would be extraneous, so I think I would say Reset Stamp maybe. Next from Ridley Anderson, top 10 decks of all time. Can be any format and for any reason, just the decks you personally think are your favorites. So this is going to be a hard one, but I do have some listed. So I'm going to count all my fingers here. Top 10 decks of all time. We'll go with Zoroark Lycanroc from the 2017-2018 season. Yveltal Garbodor in 16-17. Drampagarb in I guess it was the end of 16-17 season. Drampagarb, Espeon Garb, I'll just count those as the same deck. Gardevoir GX in the early 17-18 season. Zoroark Control in the late 17-18 season. Dialga Chomp in 2010-ish, not necessarily 2010 Worlds, but like the 09-10 season. I also really loved I loved Lux Chomp back then too. I know that's kind of like a cliche. It's like one of the old decks everybody knows, but I did really like Lux Chomp back then. I love Vileplume EX, Sceptile EX from the 2004 format. And then we've got two more left. What else do I enjoy playing? I enjoy playing Leafeon Level X from the 09-10 format, DP block. And then, I also really like the Gardevoir deck in Ruby Sapphire through PK, RS through PK format, with the Fire Delta Species Gardevoir and the Pidgeot and the Gardevoir dot deck. So those are my 10 decks. I'm not sure if I can list them all back again because I used my fingers to count. What does a 7th prize card... Oh, sorry, this is from Afty. What does a 7th prize card do to current standard? 7th prize card. It makes forcing your opponent to play for the 7th prize card pointless, and it takes skill out of the game, in my opinion, because then everybody has to play for the 7th prize card. So I think that would be the opposite of fixing the game. That would be, yeah, I wouldn't, I think it would be negative effects. Neora asks, what's your favorite Pokemon relating to the Pokemon TCG, given what kind of cards it has had? Ooh. There's a couple. There's certainly a couple. And there are a lot of cards that have pretty strong themes to them, no matter what year they're printed in. I think it has to be Dusknoir, right? Like, I'm not sure. It's probably always going to be a ghost Pokemon too, because if it's not Dusknoir, I think I would say Gengar. But yeah, Dusknoir has so many good cards. It has Stormfront, it has Diamond and Pearl base, it has Dusknoir level X. It has the Dusknoir from one of the Platinum sets with the Pokebody. Dusknoir from Vivid Voltage even recently is a good card. So yeah, Dusknoir. Throughout all the years of your Pokemon TCG journey, what are the moments you look back on most fondly? And this one is from AgroFrag. Throughout all the years of your Pokemon TCG journey, what were the moments you look back on most fondly? Definitely my first tournament is one of them. Two city championships in 2007. Definitely one of my most fond memories. I played Delta Species for Alligator Ampharos, and it was a deck that I kind of just built at home by myself and never tried out. I did horribly. I was in seniors division. It was a pretty large city championships. It was at a place I then went to league for many years until that hobby shop closed down and a new one opened somewhere close by. So yeah, definitely that's a big one. Something I've wrote about in articles for my patrons is in the 16-17 season, which is when I started taking the game more seriously. I really practiced a lot with Yveltal Garb and really metagamed out my list, like for the techs and whatnot. And I had a day 2 record. I was like 19 match points or whatever, but I ended up bubbling out of day 2 after IDing the final round. But back then was when top 64 got prize money. Top 64 and top 32 both got $250, but top 64 didn't make it into day 2. And that tournament, I'll always remember. It's like, it was really rewarding to try so hard and practice for so much, and you know, cut other things out of my life and dedicate more time to Pokemon and get the, you know, I didn't get the day 2, which is what I really wanted. I missed by 5 placements, but I got the $250, which, you know, it's not about the money, but it was nice to be rewarded for the hard work. I ID'd against Ryan Sablehouse because he's a very good player and I didn't want to take a chance. So, and he was playing Mega Mewtwo, which is a very close matchup. It was Mega Mewtwo versus Yveltal Garbodor, so I took the ID. I didn't want to risk it against a capable player. But yeah, so that's when I look back on fondly. And probably my, yeah, those two are good. Also getting my Worlds invite in 17-18 season with Real Sunny Games. We both got our Worlds invite. We both locked in for our Worlds invite in the same round. And then we were both like a match point away from day 2. Or one point away from day 2, but we ended up getting our invites the same round or whatever. So that was awesome because we ran into each other's arms and embraced each other. So that was awesome. We had a nice little brotherly moment. Team Abra asks such a heavy-hitting question here. Team Abra 87 asks, if you were in charge of card design, what's the first thing you would do? And I do like the tone of this question, Pat, because you asked what's the first thing I would do, because you know there's a long list. Oh, I think the first thing I would do would be re-separate Poke Powers from Poke Bodies. I think that's the first thing I would do. Cut abilities and separate them back into powers and bodies. That's the first thing I would do because it would take a long time to implement it. We would have to prepare wording on many sets and possibly years to come to make that transition, I think. Well, I can't just get rid of 3 prizers. That's the thing. I can't just delete all 3 prizers from the game that already exist. And assuming that they are making these VSTARs and then we don't get 3 prizers after, you know, I think they're already on the right track with that. And I don't really mind coin flips. Coin flips have always been in the game and not been a problem until the online era when people complained about Crushing Hammer. Look at Gengar from Stormfront. It literally knocks you out on a coin flip. But of course, there's ways to play around it, which is why it was healthier. But yeah, I don't think coin flips on their own are toxic or anything like that. We've got a question from Crimmy. Congrats, Luke. Thank you, Crimmy. Do you think V-Union will be a proper part of the meta eventually? Do you think we will see more of them? No, I don't expect to see more V-Union. I think we got 4 V-Unions. I think it was like somebody's pet project at Creatures. And, you know, like the intern really wanted to make V-Unions, so they let them. And then we'll never see them again. That's what I truthfully think of the mechanic. I don't think it like deserves that or anything. I think V-Unions are borderline what tag teams should have been, but I think that's how they're going to handle V-Unions. I don't think we'll get more. And the first part of that question was, do I think that will be part of the proper part of the meta eventually? You know, I'm going to go with the safe answer of no. But if anything will bring them into the meta, it's going to be Ultra Ball being reprinted sometime next year. I'm going to go with the safe answer of no, they won't be a proper part of the meta. But if they do, it'll be because of Ultra Ball. What previous non-Worlds format would you have liked to see played for longer? And this question comes from Celery. I'm not sure if Celery meant, like, if I wish the format itself lasted longer or if I wish people still played it, like, as a retro format. But it was a darn shame that Team Up Through Evolving Skies lasted a week, essentially, when Team Up Through Darkness Ablaze and Team Up Through Vivid Voltage lasted as long as they did. So I thought it was a darn shame that TU through EVS was as short as it was, because that was actually like a playable format, of course with many flaws, but a playable format. Whereas we had some pretty long stinkers previously in the season. Okay, so Spicy Dad asks, what are some tips or advice for basic etiquette you have for playing in an IRL tournament for the first time? I started playing online in the past couple months. Well, Spicy Dad, etiquette, a couple things that are like pre-game etiquette, I guess, would be bring a playmat, bring dice, and make sure your sleeves are like fit to be playing, like they're not like ripped or torn or dirty or anything, so all of your sleeves look the same. And then kind of in-game, in-tournament etiquette Wash your hands before rounds, wear deodorant. Those are two kind of, what's the word? Keeping yourself clean. Why can't I think of that word? That such a simple word is escaping my mind. Sanitary things to keep up with. Hygiene. There you go, chat. Yeah, hygiene. Gamer can't remember the word hygiene. That's new, right? Yeah, a couple hygiene etiquette things to keep up with. Also, you know, let your opponent see your discard whenever they need to, because that's just part of the game. If you want to read one of your opponent's cards, I would ask at least the first time in the match, hey, can I read your card? Because the thing is, they can't say no, but it's nice to ask, at least the first time. Try to keep your side of the board tidy so your opponent knows what's going on. Like, I've seen people like misplay and then there's a whole judge thing because, like, oh, I didn't see that he had 2 energy and a tool underneath that Pokemon because it's all stacked on top of each other kind of deal. So yeah, try to keep your board tidy and everything viewable. All right. Josh Chili asks, what is your favorite video that you have made? What type of stuff are you looking forward to making when IRL play comes back fully? I think my favorite video I've made is the history of power creep video. And I can't wait to get back into doing meta discussions before majors. Meta discussions have been, you know, sorely missed, I think, especially from me, but probably also from the viewers. So I'm looking forward to making meta discussions when IRL comes back. What Pokemon are you hoping will get VSTAR cards? Well, we already know Leafeon, Glaceon, Lucario, and by set names, I think we more or less know Dialga, Palkia, Darkrai, and Tina are getting them. I assume Pokemon will get V-Stars if they were a level X back in the Diamond and Pearl days at this point. Because all of the Pokemon that we know are V-Stars so far. And I mean, all the Pokemon that we know about that are V-Stars so far were level X's back in Diamond and Pearl. So assuming that, not saying that's confirmed, but assuming it, I would like to see a Flygon V-Star. I would love to see Hippowdon V-Star with the same Poke Power that Hippowdon level X had, because Hippowdon level X had a V-Star ability, basically. Its Poke Power was both players shuffle all cards, attached all cards on their board other than Pokemon into their deck. You can only use this power once a game. So it basically had that already. So it basically had the first ever like V power or V-Star power. So I would love to see Hippowdon be a V-Star and then have like basically a redesign of the level X's power. Yeah, if you've never seen Hippowdon level X, go look that up. Okay, so Squid System. Oh, and that question was by Muchlax TCG. So Squid System asks, do you think the PTCG would be a more balanced game, especially towards evolution, with a higher deck count maximum / side deck mechanics? And they asked the second one, but I'll get to that after this. Would it be more balanced towards evolution with a higher deck size or side deck mechanics? The thing is, even if you make a deck larger, things like tag teams will still win the how many resources does it take to use this card effectively or consistently or efficiently. Even if you made cards even if you made it 70 card decks instead of 60, that's just 10 more consistency cards that tag team Pokemon could have added, or the VMAX Pokemon can add now, that, you know, stage 2 decks, or even like stage 1 toolbox style decks would still be adding in necessities in those places almost. So I'm not sure that a higher deck size would help evolutions right now, because evolutions had been fine in the past. And we are seeing evolutions come back slowly but surely, mostly right now with the Drizzile and Teleon engine. And side deck mechanics, Pokemon I just don't think lends itself well to having a side deck. And I also know that it never will, because they want it to be casual and child friendly and have like the least amount of moving parts possible. So I never really dig into side deck, but I don't think side deck would work for Pokemon due to weakness and like the amount of like one card counters, and also how searchable the deck is in Pokemon. Games like Magic that have sideboards, you don't get to, like, you know, search your deck 10 times a game. And then Squid System's other question was, if you have one, what's your least favorite card that Creatures has put out? Oh, excluding any of the tag teams, that's too easy. Yeah, that was a good call by Squid System. So what's your least favorite card that Creatures has made, excluding any of the tag teams? That's a good one. I wonder if it's Zacian V, because it's very overpowered. I might not have a least favorite card that Creatures has put out. Really, mostly the only things I've ever been angry about in the game are tag teams, and then tag teams caused the VMAX, and VMAX were just very uninspired. I'm not sure if I have a least favorite card. Oh, the double colorless energy reprint in Heart Gold Soul Silver, I think was absolutely horrible for the game. I'll say that one. Double colorless energy reprint in Heart Gold Soul Silver was not even just unnecessary, but completely broke the Diamond and Pearl block, which, well, like, it's not the Diamond and Pearl block anymore, but it broke Diamond and Pearl for 2010 Worlds. Like, Diamond and Pearl was just a beautifully designed and curated block, and then HGSS brought double colorless energy, and I think double colorless energy was fine in all of the other formats except the formats that it was put in by the HGSS reprint and then reprinted into the next Destinies era. I think it was fine in like the base days, and then fine in 2017 on, or 2016 on. But yeah, double colorless energy printed specifically in HGSS, I think was probably my least favorite. From Brant 12379. Do you think the basic 3 prize Pokemon will ever return in a new style besides V Union? I sure hope not, Brant 12379. I sure hope not. I'm going to say no. I don't think 3 prize basic Pokemon will return in a new style. And that's probably just that I hope it doesn't. But I also, if I had a guess, I think I would say, also, he does, or Brant 12379 does specify, besides V Union, the discard pile mechanic balances it. I think if they did it again, it would be like legend pieces or something with a gimmick to it. I don't think we will get flat out bench this basic 3 prizer again like tag teams. LFL Anthony, what's up? Looking for Larry, my dude. What do you think? So Anthony asks, what do you think you did to make Celio's network as successful as it is so far? 10K might seem low compared to channels like Mr. Beast or whatever, but it is a huge milestone. Thank you, Anthony. Yeah, so 10K is low in the grand scheme of YouTube, but pretty good for Pokemon trading card game. So yeah, deeming that we are considering that successful, what do I think I did to make it as successful as it is so far? Well, I think I put a lot of passion into the channel and into my work. And I think I brought knowledge to the TCG content that wasn't being brought, or at least in ways, and just presenting it in ways that it wasn't being presented a lot. I started the channel off with a lot of like spreadsheets and analysis and statistics and things like that. And yeah, aside from the passion, also just time and effort and hard work, and probably being comfortable talking in front of people. Yeah, I don't think it would have been successful if I started it 10 years ago. I don't think I would have been as good at talking to people as good at showing my passion, or as good at putting my passion and turning it into ambition and work and hard and effort and progress. So I've always had goals, and that's also helped me too. So also understanding that YouTube content is fleeting, and when you're making things like PTCGO battles and deck profiles and meta discussions for a tournament coming up in 2 days, like, people most of the time won't be going back and watching those videos even like a month or two later, let alone like a year or two later. So a lot of times you have to be okay with like putting out content that's just like, it's decent and people will enjoy it because it's in the moment, and then know the difference between that and evergreen content, like videos like my history of Pokemon TCG videos I just started releasing, or like the history of power creep video and things like that, that people will watch for hopefully weeks and months and years to come, that don't really have a time, like an expiration date on them. Putting more effort into those kinds of things. Greatest live event you've ever attended, from Boot de Pele. I mean, I probably worlds. It's got to be an IC or a Worlds, but I don't think there's ever been an event that, like, the way the event was ran, or like things that could have only happened at that event. Like, if any, I don't know if anything sticks out as like the greatest live event I've ever attended. But internationals and worlds are always fantastic events. Okay. Shadow Mario 8 asks, if you could go back in time and play a singular best of 3 in any era, who would you be playing against? What would you and your opponent be playing, and why? If you could go back in time and play a singular best of 3 in any era, who would you be playing against? What would you and your opponent be playing, and why? A match that always sticks out in my head is from 2008, I think. Seniors division finals of a city championships, myself versus Dylan Bryan. I was playing Machamp with a 101 Dusknoir line, and Dylan Bryan was playing Abomasnow, Weavile, Cresselia level X. And I went to game 3 and I ended up winning. And like, that wasn't a testament. I don't think that was necessarily a testament to me. I know for sure it wasn't a testament to me just being the better player overall, because Dylan Bryan was, and if he came back, I'm sure it still would be an unbelievable Pokemon TCG player. But I know, just, it felt amazing to win that best of 3, because I know if I slipped up at all in a match like that, I'm pretty sure I would have lost. So I think it would be in 2008 when, yeah, winter 2008, I believe, when Stormfront was the newest set. I think that would be 2008. Maybe that's winter 2009 or 08 in going into 2009. Me playing Machamp, Dylan Bryan playing Abomasnow, and yeah, and that would be it. Shadow Mario 8, we just answered yours. That was yours. Umi Force asks, what was your favorite deck when you first started playing? I loved anything Delta Species. That was when I first started playing, like, competitively. When I first started playing, I just played, like, you know, we just built whatever I had around the house kind of deal. But yeah, so I would say Delta Species stuff. Like, as far back as I can remember, like, building specific decks, Delta Species stuff. If you were a Pokemon, what would your signature move be? It would be Snore. Maybe even G-Max Snore. Bob McDougall has a few questions. And I will be answering 2 of them. One is the best Spider-Man, Toby, Andrew, or Tom? Toby Maguire. 100%. 2, how come not enough people played Passimi and Tapu Koko back in the day? I don't know. I thought it was good. Maybe they didn't understand. They probably didn't understand why the deck was good, but it was a good single prize deck. Okay, I'll answer Bob's number 3 as well. What is the BDIF in 2010 format, and why is it Dialga Chomp? I think Flygon Machamp doesn't get enough love looking back at 2010. But there's a lot of broken things in 2010. So yeah, I don't know if Dialga Chomp's the best deck, but it's a good deck. Great deck even. What is the best deck for right now? What is the best deck right now? Okay, so as of October 29th, for someone who just started playing that they could win with, Zacian Zamazenta. Belf asks, you have the opportunity to make a product. It sells for $40 US and is aimed at getting players into the competitive side of the game. What do you put into it and why? First place for Masters Worlds deck. No, actually, no, because some of that would be rotated out, right? Okay, let me say this. If Masters Worlds played the post-rotation format like we did in 2019, and they didn't play the pre-rotation format, I would say you make an exact replica of whatever won Worlds in the Masters division, as long as it's not some horribly complex deck that most beginner and intermediate players couldn't play. I would say that we just mass produce that deck without fake backs on the cards. Like, we actually make the cards. It's a real playable deck that people can use in tournaments for $40, just replica of World's first place. El Trendy Beast also asked, why is Tobey Maguire Spider-Man the best? More Spider-Man questions than I could have predicted. Let's see. What's the best piece? All right. Celery asks, what's the best piece of advice your mom has ever given you in or out of a tournament match? Probably to play Leafy on VMAX for the day 2 of POG recently, because she wanted to play it for day 1 of POG and I was against it. That's the best one I can think of recently. Sleepy Dreepy asks, any advice or tips to new up-and-coming PTCG content creators? Yeah, something I was talking about earlier. Don't worry about perfecting each video, because you're not going to perfect them, and they're just deck profiles and gameplay that are only going to last in the YouTube algorithm verse for a week. So work on your deck building and your gameplay and your like fast one-take production skills, as opposed to editing a deck profile or editing gameplay, because nobody cares if you edit deck profiles or gameplays, really. At least right now for PTCGO, because like the viewership to effort ratio of deck profiles and gameplay doesn't fit if you put extra work into it, because I can do, you know, like I can do gameplay or deck profile, get a couple thousand views, and I can edit that gameplay or deck profile, you know, put moving cards on the screen, whatever. And the same people who were going to watch that video are going to watch the video regardless if it's well edited or well produced or whatever, because it's just that kind of fleeting content, and only put the extra effort into like documentary or presentation style videos. A good example is my History of Power Creep video, or how are Pokemon cards designed. Both of those videos probably took 5 to 10 hours of research and editing and script writing. The History of Power Creep video got over 10k views, so that's like a good ratio to the effort put into it. But like, I also have videos with 10k views where I just sat down and did something in one take, whether it's play Pokemon or profile a deck or talk about something. So the amount of work you put in is not always equivalent to the amount of views you'll get on YouTube, and that's something to keep in mind. And also know which content is fleeting and only going to be relevant for a week, and know what content is evergreen and people will be watching for hopefully months and years to come. Durgapunked asks, how many different decks would you say one should have ready to use when starting to go to tournaments? And would you recommend having a core deck plus a binder with cards to switch in or out, or better have all considered decks completely built? I would never tell anyone to have all considered decks completely built. You're going to drain your wallet. Make sure you have all the staples for like top 10 decks. So most of those are going to coincide with each other. So you'll have Quick Balls, Evolution Incense, Level Balls, Sobble, Drizzle, and Teleons, Research Marnie, Boss, Cheryl, Palpad, Crobat, Zigzagoon, Chatot, maybe. So have those staples, but you only need enough for, you only need 4 copies of each, or however many is the max that any of the decks play. Melanie. So have all the staples, and then This one should be common sense, but just get all of the Vs and V maxes or core Pokemon attackers, or the archetypal different cards that vary from each archetype you may build. You know, and then you can play whatever deck you want in that case. Bob, you did, so you'll have to watch back the YouTube video. But yeah, I would probably build for one person a maximum of like 3 decks. If you're only building for yourself, build a maximum of like 3 decks that are ready to go, and then everything else just have extras that you can tear apart decks and build a new one if you want. But also, if you're just starting out, you also don't have to go that hard. Just pick a deck and get good at it. So our Ryan 74 asks, I was playing my first ever tournament on Play Limitless, and I won 5 seconds after our match timer, but he deliberately wasted time to force us to an official draw. Has this ever happened to anyone else? So I'll give feedback online. If you see slow play happening, just call a judge, but also in real life, you just raise your hand and yell judge if you think anything fishy's going on. A lot of people asked what regionals do I plan on attending. Alice Liverpool 69 is one of the people that asked. I plan on attending everything but Vancouver if I can, and if I have to cut one out, the first one I would cut would probably be Wisconsin. Atrocious Jake asked, would you shave your head bald at 20k? No, I wouldn't shave my head bald at 20k, because we're in 20k next month, right guys? So I'm not shaving my head next month. LFL Anthony asks, do you play MTG Commander? Would you consider playing webcam games with fans who are interested? It's me, I want to play Magic. No, I don't have a Commander deck. I wouldn't be opposed to trying it one day, but it's not on my like very soon to-do list. What are some good decks to use to get my family into competitive play? We play with the old cards around the house, but I want some simple, fun V card decks to use. Mythic Alex 2, League Battle decks, like I saw you mentioned right down below that. League Battle decks are a great start. The Inteleon and both Urshifu decks I think would be great for you and your family to switch around and play. And then if you want to build anything that's not League Battle deck, I'd probably say Leafeon VMAX. It has beautiful cards that I'm sure your family will appreciate, and fun cards. It's a simple deck with only one main attacker, but it also has some cool things you can do with it. So I'm a big advocate of Leafeon VMAX. Also, Zacian Zamazenta is pretty cheap and pretty simple, since it also has a very small amount of Pokemon to use in it. What are my plans for content at regionals when IRL play comes back? My plan for content is meta discussions with guests, with pro player guests like we used to do, and more serious content, I guess, like talking about preparation and analyzing the meta and things like that. And then also probably vlogging, since I have two heavy high quality cameras, one of them being a digital like event standard camcorder and the other being a DLSR. I can probably vlog because I didn't have this equipment prior to the pandemic. What's your favorite format of all time and why? Diamond and Pearl through Arceus block, which you can find us talking about in the DP era of Pokemon TCG Retro. And actually a new site that's coming out is going to be someone is going to be like hosting a bunch of retro deck lists and information about them, so they'll have my Diamond and Pearl block deck lists up there, and I'll tweet that when that's out. But yeah, Diamond and Pearl through Arceus, which is also the 2009-2010 City Championships format. And basically, if you're familiar with 2010 Worlds or 2009 Worlds, you can just minus 2 sets from 2010 or add 2 sets to 2009, and that's the format. What cards would you reprint for today's format? Both of these are from Stellar Wish Gaming, the last one and this one. What cards would you reprint for today's format? Reset Stamp, N, PAL Hand Extension, but replace Boss with it. Maybe Counter Catcher if it's not PAL Hand Extension. Garbotoxin, Trashalanche. But I want Garbotoxin and Trashalanche to be purple. Do you guys think there will be Gym Leader Challenge events at Regional? So Gym Leader Challenge is completely created by Andrew. But, you know, he could always contact the event organizers and try to run an event like the Friday night before the regionals if they have the venue or something like that, or Sunday during day 2 or something like that. So I don't think it's completely out of the question, because people do hold like little retro tournaments like unofficially, and the event runs like side events and stuff. So I'm sure if Andrew wanted to, there would be at least some event organizer out there that would let him do it like the Friday night or the Sunday morning. But yeah, that's Gym Leader isn't an official format, but maybe one day it will be. All right, those are all of the questions from the Discord, and thank you all for asking these questions in celebration of 10,000 subs on YouTube. If you're watching this at a later date on YouTube, thank you so much for watching. And thank you everybody for tuning in live on Twitch for this. Hey, what's up, Colton? Yeah, I cannot wait for regionals either. Yeah, thank you for being here, Lucas. We had a pretty swell evening of opening packs and answering questions. Yeah, I think time is the biggest thing for Commander, because like any of my free time that I'm not focusing on standard format Pokemon content, I want to be playing retro Pokemon formats. So, and like I like Magic, but like I don't have the passion for it like I do for Pokemon. But Commander's different. I like Commander Magic so much more in theory than standard Magic. It seems like you get to actually play the game a lot more, which is cool. Because the problem I have with Magic is like so like I played Force of Will, and Force of Will is a game like Magic, except your lands are in their own deck and you just flip one over once a turn and you get it. My problem with Magic is that like you need lands to play, but you don't want to keep drawing into them. The whole like land flood, land drought thing is just like I hate the mechanic of lands. But I do appreciate Magic for what it is, and Commander I feel like Commander has less feel-bad stuff because it's just a little more lighthearted and a little more everybody gets to play the game, especially with the higher life count. Yeah, so I like completely understand Commander. I don't play it. But if I were to get like very into Magic, I think it would be Commander probably. If N was reprinted, would Marnie get replaced? Ideally, yes. So I wouldn't expect an N reprint until, like a year from now, if that's ever going to happen. If I was in charge, yeah, I would probably replace Marnie. All right, guys. So that's going to be it for the stream. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Remember to follow if you have not already here, and subscribe over on YouTube. If you're looking to pre-order Fusion Strike, Card Trooper Games has Fusion Strike for under MSRP, and you can use code Celio for 5% off. They also have single packs of Fusion Strike that they ship them all out the week of. Is new Inteleon VMAX better than old Inteleon VMAX? Well, new Inteleon VMAX probably won't be on a budget, I don't think, but yeah, I think overall it's a better card, but you can also probably play them together.